Oh, one. Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Now, I didn't get an episode of Jash Reads out on Friday because I was doing some voice work for a friend, which I meant to do Wednesday, but long story short, that you don't care about, didn't get it done Wednesday, so I had to move it to Friday. So that's done as of now. I actually had to resend some lines because I read the wrong line. Lines, I said in multiple ways, so it felt like lines. If just one line, it felt like 6 or 7 very different lines. And today, me and my husband kept on waiting for the clean lady to show. She ended up not showing, and then I was like, I need to shop. One little shop, and I watched my budget closely. And then I came home, then it was dinner, and finally I'm able to do a video. So that's why it's really late. I really like trying to get these videos out at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. You know, it's nice Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. Yeah, nice Monday afternoon, getting back from work, sit down, watch some me for whatever reason. So we're here to continue Animorphs number 9, The Secret by K. Applegate. And I was like stretching out the arms because I was like, should I stretch or should I not? So that's what happens when you're extremely indecisive. So let's get back to Animorphs number 9, The Secret by K. Applegate. That's so creepy. Where have you been? My dad asked me when I finally got back home later that evening. He was in the kitchen, searching the refrigerator. It kind of took me by surprise. My parents don't usually ask me a lot of questions. Mostly, they trust me. And it used to be they could trust me. I don't think I'd lied to my parents before becoming an Animorph. Now it's like I'm lying all the time. It's a rotten feeling. Oh, I was just out walking, I said. Why? Did you need me for something? Oh, yes, my dad said. He was sounding way too solemn, so I knew he wasn't actually serious. That's the way he is. I guess he has a dry sense of humor. That's what Jake says, anyway. He thinks my dad is the funniest man on the planet. What is it? Uh, just got a call from the highway patrol. They said this certain animal is out by the side of the highway where it cuts through the forest. They say this certain animal seems to have a bad burn. I didn't like the way he kept saying certain animal. We have to drive out and get it, my dad said. Then he grinned. Actually, I'll drive. You have to get it. I groaned. There was only one animal in all the world my dad was afraid of. He handled foxes and wolves and even bears, but he would not handle this certain animal. Are you telling me it's a skunk? I asked. He nodded. You have such a way with skunks, he said. They like you. Besides, I have to go meet with the board of the Doodad Cat Food Corporation tomorrow. I can't show up smelling like skunk. My mom appeared. climbing up from the basement. She was carrying a 6-pack of V8 juice. "This is all I could find in the pantry," she said. "You see, tomato juice is one of the few things that helps get rid of skunk smell." "Mom, shouldn't you be the one to help Dad with this? I have very important homework to do." "Yeah, right," my mom said. "This is pathetic. You guys are both highly trained veterinarians," I pointed out. "How can you be scared of skunks?" "I didn't used to be," my father said darkly. "Back before the incident. Just because one skunk sprayed you in the face," he said, "just because you had one bad experience. He sprayed me 6 times in about 3 seconds," he said. "I smelled for a week. Your mother made me sleep in the barn. Except the other animals there all became agitated. So I had to set up a tent in the yard. Then we had to burn the tent," my mother added. She giggled. "You do have a way with skunks," my father said. "Actually, you have a way with all animals. Come on, you know skunks love you. A burned skunk by the side of a highway loves no one," I said. 10 minutes later, we were on the highway. We were driving in our new pickup truck. My father's old, beloved pickup truck had been stolen and totally destroyed. At least that's what my dad believed. Actually, we'd sort of had to borrow it in this terrible battle. Marco had been driving, and Marco cannot drive. The truck had ended up a total wreck in a ditch. On the way, we listened to the CD player. That was the only thing my dad liked about the new truck. He was playing some old jazz or something. We reached the spot the highway patrol had told my dad about. We pulled over and put on the hazard lights. "Careful, people drive like maniacs through here," he warned me as we climbed out. Cars were blowing past at 70 miles an hour with their high beams on. The black forest pressed in around the road on both sides. I shone a flashlight around the edge of the trees. Normally, the forest doesn't bother me, but I knew that we were actually within a quarter-mile of the Yerk logging camp. It was beyond strange to be practically going back to the place where, just an hour before, I'd nearly been killed. It took us at least 20 minutes, walking up and down the grassy shoulder of the road, before my flashlight beam landed on a shock of black and white. "Dad! Here!" He came trotting over and added his light to mine. "Yep," he commented. I'll get the cage. Don't forget your gloves. You know skunks are a major vector for rabies." "Dad, I have had the shot." "No vaccine is 100%, he said. I walked toward the skunk. It saw me and turned tiny, glittering black eyes on me. "Don't be afraid," I said, pitching my voice high. "It's okay. We're here to help you. It's going to be just fine." Here's the thing about skunks. They are the sweetest animals alive. They don't have a mean bone in their bodies. But that's because they don't have to be mean. They possess the ultimate weapon. Even so, they will always warn you. If they turn their backs on you, that's a warning. If they raise their tails with the tips down, that's a very serious warning. If they raise the tips of their tails, you are in a very bad situation. If you're dealing with a skunk who has turned buttward and raised its tail all the way around, you would want to freeze. Trust me. Every wild animal knows this. Dogs, unfortunately, don't understand about skunks, but bears, raccoons, wolves, and most birds of prey know that you just don't mess with that skunk tail. Maybe you think you know how bad skunk musk is because you've driven by skunk roadkill. That's nothing. Up close and personal, it's a whole different level of stench. If you imagine the most horrible smell possible, then multiply it by 1,000, you still won't be close. It's okay, sweetie, I cooed. Don't spray me. I'm your friend, so please, don't spray me. I moved closer and crouched lower, making myself small. I wanted to look non-threatening. I moved very slowly, a step at a time, always cooey and baby talking like I was going to grab a little kid armed with a shotgun. The skunk moved! I froze. The skunk settled back down. I breathed again. Please don't spray me, I said. I reached into my pocket and took out a bit of mouse meat. We keep frozen mice for the raptors we handle. Skunks also enjoy a nice mouse or grasshopper as part of their diets. Here you go, dinner. I held the meat out for the skunk. The skunk didn't seem to be hungry, but it did accept the fact that I must be okay if I was offering dinner. I crouched beside the skunk and set my flashlight on the ground. Carefully, with my gloved hand, I reached out to touch the animal. It was shaking, shivering, and at that very moment, I could see why. There was a burn right across the skunk's back, a perfectly semicircular burn, as if someone had simply sliced a scoop out of it. Dracon beam, I whispered. You were there, weren't you? Poor baby. You mean Emmy and Marco? The Yerks had hit this skunk instead. A completely innocent animal caught in the crossfire of the war between Yerks and humans. The Yerks would destroy all the forest and all its animals to get at us. Sorry, I whispered to the skunk. I lifted it slowly, carefully, up into my arms. And that's the lovely end of that chapter. First things first, I believe after some minor research, like a few months back, tomato juice does not actually really help that much in and removing the skunk stench if you ever do find yourself being sprayed. If I'm actually wrong about this, please comment below, and also comment below with any remedies you know of, just in case any of my viewers get sprayed by a skunk. And also, I do like this chapter brings up collateral damage. It's the reason why in, I think, it was last chapter and probably a previous chapter of this book, where I don't mind Cassie bringing up what about the animals, because remember, the Animorphs aren't just fighting to save humans, they're fighting to save all life on Earth. So being concerned about animal life is something that needs to be thought about. It was just, the way she brought the environmentalism topics up that was just a little like, really? Now? And the end of this chapter does give us a very clear showing of the collateral damage. In this case, this innocent skunk. This skunk that was just going about his day doing skunky things, whatever skunky things are, and then ends up getting very injured because of the fight against the Yeerks. These are creatures that don't understand about the war with the Yeerks, but they're still caught in the crosshairs every now and again, because the war with the Yeerks isn't without its collateral damage. So, my question to you tonight, or today, or whenever you are watching this, is what do you think about the collateral animal damage? What do you think about not just this skunk, but birds and other wildlife that are harmed? What do you think about that? Do you think the series should have had a bigger focus on that? Or are you okay with that not being a major focus of the series? That's mentioned every now and again, but isn't, constant stream. Please comment down below about your feelings on that. And also, anything else you thought about this chapter. And remember, no major spoilers in the comment section. I'm hoping against hope that people get into the Animorphs series via these videos. So, yeah, the twists and turns you don't want to be spoiled for. And yeah, I know that there's going to be some professionally done Animorphs audiobooks. So if you like this channel and you're like, hey, I like this, but I'd sort of like to have someone that actually knows what they're doing reading it. And also, if you just want to comment below what you think about the voice actors that were chosen, if you are going to be buying them or not, please comment down below. And if you're watching this on the YouTubes, please like this video so you can mess around with the YouTube algorithm so it's more likely people will see this. And also subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I am going to be reading not the entirety of Animorphs number 9, The Secret by K.A. Applegate, but also the entire Animorphs series. Though around the time when the Animorphs audiobooks are coming out, I might play it safe and not, post any new videos for a little bit, just because when something's coming out, it's more likely for, your videos get taken down, and yeah, fun. Yeah, I'm smiling because I'm crying inside. Cliche. But anyways, and if you're watching this on my bloggity blog and watching this on the desktop version of my bloggity blog, please choose the follow by email option so you will never again miss out on any of my lovely content. I just don't do dramatic readings. I also do long reviews, mini reviews, fanfics, deep analysis into things, so keep an eye out. And until next video, goodbye.